They have asked how can we do this? So Sudha started teaching lessons on how to save water, why trees matter, why boys and girls should have the same chances. That is what we are calling as gender equality, and how kindness, clean air, and fairness can make the life better. So slowly the students have started planting trees, helping each other, sharing the food, and even writing letters to the village head for clean toilets and safer roads. Years later, the same tiny village had clean water, equal education, which means boys and girls had the same opportunity to learn, solar lights, and children playing under the shady trees. So, coming to the model of the story, just like Sudha, every teacher can light the spark. The SDGs aren't just global goals, they are classroom goals, provided we involve them into the curriculum. What we teach today shapes the world tomorrow. Do everyone agree with this statement? If said yes, yes. Let us explore more about SDGs in our today's session. And here is Chandana. She's going to give the session for you. And she's the subject lead for science department. She'll be handing over the session. Yeah, Chandana, over to you. Go ahead.
So, good evening to all the teachers and all other participants who are there with us today in the webinar session, which is on teaching science for a sustainable future, linking SDGs, which is nothing but sustainable development goals, to the classroom. So, let me introduce myself. I'm Sai Chandana from Next Education. So, I'll be leading the session today. So, teachers, can you tell me what are sustainable development goals? Do you have any idea about these? Okay, so before we go across the sustainable development goals, just tell me, what do you mean by sustainable development? Yes, you're free to speak up, teachers. Yes, you can try giving responses, or you can also respond in the chat box.
Hello, good evening. This is Asma Sadir from Nirmala Convent Higher Secondary School, Sironj.
Good
And
evening.
I think sustainable future means that is permanent, something which grows for future.
Yes, anyone wants to respond?
Yes, hi, this is Mitusha from Aditya International School. Sustainable development refers to a continuous and long term progress of system.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your responses. So, sustainable development. Okay, please mute yourself. So, sustainable development is nothing but the development which we are looking forward for the globe to take place. Along with that, keeping in mind that it has to be, the development should be such that it needs to be carried forward to the future generation. So, something which will be permanent, something which is long lasting. So, that is what the development which we are looking forward. So, with respect to sustainable development, United Nations have come across certain goals so that we could actually set up targets for each and every country in the worldwide, in the keeping the entire world scenario into perspective, and they have formulated certain goals for all the nations. So let's move forward. So this is the table of contents for this webinar today. So here you could see a slide which talks about what is the historical evolution. Just a minute. Yes. So Here you could see a slide which talks about what is the historical evolution of SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals, integration in the Indian education system. So before we move towards the education system and the quality education, I just wanted to highlight here that what are SDGs. So these are nothing but a collection of certain global goals, 17 in number, which are set by the United Nations in 2015. And these goals are actually, we are looking forward that we have to attain and achieve all these goals by 2030. For the sake of sustainable development, so there's a kind of blueprint, you can say, for achieving a sustainable future. So certain global challenges are kept in mind while framing and formulating these sustainable development goals. They are poverty. We are looking forward that there has to be zero poverty by 2030, and inequality, there should be no kind of bias with respect to rich and poor, with respect to genders, etc. Climate change, we all know it's how big the issue is, and we have to mitigate this particular issue by setting up certain plans in mind, certain policies in mind. And environmental degradation, peace and justice, and quality education. So, we being the teachers, we being in the arena of education, we are more towards the last one, which is quality education, and that is being given under SDG 4. So, moving forward, why is SDG needed? So, teachers, by seeing the slide, what do you understand? Why do we actually need SDGs? Is it really important?
Because we want to give something to our future also.
Correct. Thank you. Anyone else? Why do we need SDGs?
And United Nations wanted to be global unification also.
Correct, correct. So, anyone else?
We want to sensitize the children also to so that they are also aware of what is important and what are these like, for example, health and well-being, which we incorporate in our school in Kejriwal. For
Mhm.
the little ones, they they understand these, why it is important to have a healthy body.
Hmm.
So in that manner, these are important for the children so that they can be aware and they can work towards along with the parents, teachers, and children. We have to work
Yes.
towards the future in a collective manner.
Yes, yes. Thank you for your responses. So you all were correct in your own words. You have actually told what why SDG is actually needed. And apart from these points which you have mentioned, like unifying the global efforts, we all need to come together to work upon certain social issues with respect to environment, economy, social, etc, and providing clear targets and indicators. We all know that these are very abstract ideas. When you say that you want to mitigate poverty, when you want there has to be no hunger all over the world, these are like abstract topics. Until and unless you do the policy making, you formulate certain targets, certain indicators, it is very difficult to achieve them. So that is the reason these sustainable development goals helps the government, the institutions, as well as citizens to work together in order to achieve these goals, and also encouraging long term sustainability in policy making and development. That itself tells us that what sustainable development is, and ensure no one is left behind. So inclusivity, there's a term here mentioned called inclusivity. So any teachers, can anyone tell me what is inclusivity? Yes.
Accepting diversity, ma'am.
Yes, and also including people from all the spheres of life, no matter who they are, no matter their,
Background.
monetary background, no matter what creed they belong to, what race they belong to, what is their, social situation or monetarily, whether they are rich or poor. So these criteria are not kept in mind, and all these people has to be taken into consideration. So that is inclusivity. Equity is again everyone is equal, and also access for education, food, clean water, etc. So this is what are the reasons why SDGs are required. why SDGs are included in the school curriculum. Again, we as being in the education arena, we have to be also included in this particular goals of achieving these SDGs. So that is the reason these SDGs are also included in the school curriculum. So build responsible citizens, as one of the teacher has already told us, that we need to educate students in such a way that they need to become the responsible citizens for the future. So we need to teach them values like kindness, fairness, caring for the environment, etc. Create awareness of real world problems. Again, if teachers just focuses on the bookish knowledge only on the textbooks, so that doesn't open their mind towards what real world problems exist outside the classroom. So they need to know, when you mention in a class that water needs to be saved, they has to know why even we need to save water. For that, they should be aware of the real world problems beforehand, that there is a scarcity of water in the outside world, in their city or the town where they are existing. So these kind of real world problems is what teachers needs to make students aware of, be it the poverty, pollution, hunger, and inequality. Develop life skills. Again, teaching about SDGs will help them understand and also inculcate teamwork, problem solving, empathy, and critical thinking. Again, connecting learning to life shows how school lessons apply to daily life and global challenges. That whatever they are learning in the classroom, how they can apply it in the outside world. So that connection is also what needs to be built. And again, shaping a better future, which has been already highlighted, supporting our country and the world in achieving these targets. So these are the reasons why SDGs are being included in the school curriculum. Now, if we just brief about the historical evolution, that how these SDGs even came into existence and how these are being included in the school curriculum. So what
Yeah, na
happened
मेरे को बोल
actually?
दिया है।
Uh,
Yeah.
Nazreen ma'am,
Hmm.
please mute yourself. Thank you. So coming to the historical evolution, year 2000 was the time when for the first time the UN members have come together and they thought of adopting something called as Millennium Development Goals, so that they could take all the social issues, economic issues, and all other environmental issues into consideration. But in 2015, this was the landmark year, one could say, when it comes to sustainable development goals, because all the member countries, all the 193 countries have adopted it, have signed this particular um, document. And when it comes to education, SDG 4 is of importance. Even that has been signed and formally committed to by our country. Then 2016 and 17, the next following years, we used to have a ministry before called Ministry of Human Resource Development, which used to take care of the national policies related to education. But now we have a separate ministry on that, Ministry of Education. So that has committed and has aligned all the national policies with the SDG 4. Then 2018 onwards, the CBSE as well as NCRT, they have integrated something called as SDG themes into the curriculum and the school practices. And from 2020, we all know about National Education Policy, NEP 2020. It has reinforced that India's SDG 4 goals, that is quality education, should be focused and especially on inclusivity, literary skills, and modern educational reforms. So this is all about the general brief up on historical evolution. So how can all 17 SDGs be meaningfully connected to the school curriculum? So before we go through that, I just want to highlight what these 17 SDGs are and what does it talk about. This video is all about how you can integrate as teachers. There are certain simple steps and tips given how you can integrate the 17 SDGs into your classroom teaching. So let's go through this.
Sustainable Development Goals and Curriculum Ideas. SDG 1. No poverty. Teach about rich and poor, caring, kindness. Role play. Helping someone in need. Storytelling. Read stories about poverty and
You can increase
kindness.
the volume, Chandana,
Poster.
if
How
possible.
can we help?
Your
Project.
system, your system.
Collect clothes and toys for a local shelter. SDG 20 Hunger. Teach about healthy food, growing food, sharing.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Activity. Draw a healthy food plate collage. Gardening. Grow spinach or tomatoes in pots. Role play. Sharing food with a friend. Project. Grow and share. Harvest school garden veggies and share. SDG 3. Good health and well-being. Teach hygiene, exercise, feelings, mental health. PE activity. Yoga and stretching. Chart. Daily hygiene habits. Role play. Visiting the doctor. Project. Health Week. Focus on one healthy habit each day. SDG 4. Quality education. Support all learners. Fun learning. Inclusivity. Buddy reading. Pair strong readers with others. Learning games. Flashcards, story dice. Storytelling. Everyone can learn books. Project. Read for all. Students donate old books to younger kids. SDG 5. Gender equality. Teach equal chances for boys and girls. Fairness. Storytelling. Stories of girl leaders. Role play. Girls and boys doing same tasks. Poster. Girls can too. Project. Equality wall. Draw or write about equal heroes. SDG 6. Clean water and sanitation. Teach hand washing, clean toilets, water saving. Demonstration. Correct way to wash hands. Poster making. Save every drop. Drive. Clean school washroom day. Project. Water monitors. Check taps and amp. Water use in class. SDG 7. Clean and affordable energy. Teach solar, wind energy and saving power. Model making. Paper windmills, solar ovens. Classroom signs. Switch off when not needed. Energy audit. Count fans and lights left on. Project. Power Patrol. Weekly student team tracks electricity use. SDG 8. Decent work and economic growth. Teach about working hard, respect for all jobs, learning skills, and the value of earning. Role play. Be a teacher, farmer, or shopkeeper for a day. Storytelling. Stories about children learning skills or helping at work, age appropriate. Chart making. People who work around us, helpers like drivers, postmen, cooks. Craft. Make thank you cards for school staff, cleaners, guards, etc. Project My Dream Job. Students draw and talk about what they want to become and why. SDG 9. Innovation and infrastructure. Teach building, coding, creativity. STEM task. Build a bridge from straws. Art and design. Dream classroom model. Tech time. Simple coding on Scratch Junior. Project. Recycled material model. Schools, roads, parks. SDG 10. Reduced inequalities. Teach fairness, helping others, respect. Story circle. Stories on fairness and rights. Role play. Helping a friend with a disability. Poster. We are all equal. Project. Inclusion tree. Every student's handprint shows unity. SDG 11. Sustainable cities and communities. Teach clean surroundings, traffic, smart homes. Drawing. Smart, clean city plan. Eco Club. Cleanup drives in school. Role play. Traffic policemen and rules. Project. Green school model. City with parks, bins, solar lights. SDG 12, responsible consumption. Teach, reduce, reuse, recycle. Art from waste, pencil holders, robots. Debate. Should we use plastic? Waste segregation demo. Wet and dry bins. Project. Zero Waste Week. Avoid plastic and paper in class. SDG 13, climate action. Teach about global warming, trees, saving energy. Tree planting. Adopt a tree activity. Green pledge. Write and decorate a class promise. Storytelling. Why the Earth got hot. Project. Green audit. Check schools' eco-friendliness. SDG 14, life below water. Teach about oceans, sea life, plastic pollution. Craft. Create sea animals from paper plates. Storytelling. Life of a fish in dirty water. Video. Watch coral reef or ocean cleanup. Project Blue Planet. Awareness display on sea safety. SDG 15, life on land. Teach about forests, animals, and nature. Nature walk. Spot birds, trees, flowers. Drawing. My favorite animal in the wild. Storytelling. Animal stories with messages. Project. Adopt a plant. One child cares for one plant. SDG 16. Peace, justice, and AMP. Institutions. Teach rules, fairness, problem solving. Mock parliament. Class chooses leaders. Class rules poster. Made by students. Role play. Solving a classroom fight peacefully. Project. Class court. Student-led weekly issue solving. SDG 17. Partnerships for the goals. Teach teamwork, invite guests, collaborate. Group projects. Poster making in teams. Invite NGOs. Speak about real work. Buddy system. Help younger students. Project. Community Connect. Team up with local helpers to do a good deed.
Yes. So this was all about the sustainable development goals and how you as a teacher can implement it in the classroom by following certain easy steps, be it the storytelling or assigning projects to the students which are in thematic based related to SDGs, etc.
So
So,
this is what we call it as an informal assessment, which can be included under 82 or 84, where what all we have given, the projects, role plays, poster making, or physical education activity, or model making, or a poster making, or a debate, or a storytelling can be introduced. And this is what you call it as a portfolio and anecdote also. Portfolio is a collection of information from the students. Either it can be in the form of an digital, that is PPT or a doc or an Excel, or it can be in the form of a file, or it can be in the form of something like a scrapbook activity. Anything that you can collect, that is what we call portfolio. And next comes your anecdote, where you make a record sheet of the complete skills that they can master through, like accuracy of information you can give, for example, 3 marks. Organization of information you can give 2 marks. For the complete presentation you can give 3 marks, and creativity and uniqueness you can give 2 marks. So total it caters to 10 marks, plus 10 marks for the portfolio in terms of how they collect the data and how did they present it to you. So this way you can give like each whatever activity that you are going to give. It can be whatever I said, a project or a role play or poster making or whatever. So this weightage is what you can consider it for the informal assessment, because straight away you cannot see in any of the textbook this SDGs being integrated. But you can see in our next science books, which Chandra will be showing you in the next couple of slides. But for now, if you see that this has been integrated as a part of informal assessment. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So, moving forward, how can all 17 SDGs be meaningfully connected to the school curriculum? So, as you can see here, the table which is being displayed to you, the SDGs, the goal title, and curriculum integration ideas. So, if you see the first SDG, which is on no poverty, SDG 1, which talks about zero poverty or no poverty, which has to be achieved by 2030. So how can we do that? How can we integrate into the curriculum is through economic lessons. We know that when you speak about poverty, it is something related to economic issues. So you can actually take up it as a part of economic lessons. Social studies projects could be assigned to the students on topics such as inequality and the bias which has been there between poor and the rich, and role plays could be actually conducted on community welfare.
Vandana, someone has raised the hands. Just have a look, answer the queries if they have any.
Yes, teachers, please, you can speak up. Lodu M. Daisy and PUC.
Hello.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
audible.
right. Ma'am, I just wanted to understand these SDGs are meant for which levels? Is it across classes, junior classes 1 to 10, or is it starting from the middle school? At what levels are they usually applicable?
Ma'am, these SDGs can be applicable to all the grades. So
Because if
you,
I look at SDG 1,
hmm.
no poverty or zero poverty. So here the topics like economic lessons, social studies, this wouldn't be absolutely easy to implement in a grade, let's say
No,
3
it's
or
not
4.
mandatory, ma'am, that all the 17 SDGs should be covered in all the grades. It's like from 1 to 17, what can you align in the grade 1 and grade 2? That way, you need to decide being
Okay,
a teacher, and we'll be showing some examples at the maybe we have it in the couple in the upcoming slides where you can
right,
see in grade 6 what is being aligned. Some projects which he will show it aligned with SDG 1, then SDG 2. That way, it is not possible all 17
all
will
there are
get.
right, right,
Yes,
right,
will be included into the curriculum, but as per the your feasibility is what we can include it.
right, right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, so as Usha ma'am highlighted, you can actually not include all the SDGs, and it should be actually according to the grade wise way, and also the foundational topics, very basic kind of topics you can actually introduce to the students in the lower grades and move on to the higher grades. So, any other query, Daisy ma'am? Okay, okay, let's move forward. Coming to the second SDG, which is about the zero hunger. So, when it comes to zero hunger, you can include it in the form of science or nutrition classes, school gardening, and also awareness on malnutrition and food security. That how malnutrition exists in our country, what are the statistics? You can just give a brief about it, and how serious the problem is, and also the food security. Then coming to SDG 3, which is on good health and well being. So this topic you can actually introduce through physical education, that how fitness is important, how maintaining a proper health is important, and in the form of hygiene sessions as well, that how personal hygiene or community hygiene could be maintained, and mental well-being, how mental well-being is also important, because as you could see, not just being physically active, just being physically fit is not enough. Mental well-being is also important for the students, and that could actually be introduced even from the lower grades onwards. And life skills. Coming to SDG 4, which is quality education, you can actually introduce it through topics like equitable access, that how access to education should be there across the country, in equal manner, without any bias or without any discrimination. Foundational literacy, that all the basic topics, all the foundational level knowledge needs to be there for every child. Inclusive pedagogies and lifelong learning themes. Coming to SDG 5, which highlights about gender equality, the students has to be made gender sensitive, the pedagogy has to be gender sensitive, role models needs to be introduced, especially in the history class. We have many role models when it comes to women. which are generally not being present if you see the syllabus, but you as a teacher can actually introduce certain women role models to the students who might have fought in the Indian freedom struggle. Then debates on equality and rights can also be taken in the classroom. Whoever has unmuted themselves, can you please mute it? Thank you. Coming to SDG 6, which is clean water and sanitation, there is water cycle topic in the science classes already. So you can actually conduct certain activities related to that particular concept. Sanitation drives can actually be conducted in the school, where you give students opportunity to clean up their own schools, clean up their classrooms, sometimes even washrooms maybe. Then water conservation projects, that how water needs to be conserved, you can give tips to the students and certain projects related to that particular topic. SDG is 7, which is on affordable and clean energy, because we all already know, being the science teachers, that how energy preservation in terms of the natural resources which are there, be it the coal or petroleum, they are very rapidly exhausting. So we need to move forward. We need to move forward towards more cleaner energy forms, be it the wind energy, solar energy, etc. And they have to be made affordable, because as you see, solar energy, even though we at a faster pace are inculcating it all across our country, we are moving towards solar energy, but it's somewhat you could say costly means of energy. So we making it affordable is also very important. So you can actually teach students the topic of renewable energy. You can actually assign STEM projects related to this topic, models, and how energy audits could actually be conducted in schools. You can actually tell them that how electricity could be saved, how we need to maintain, how we need to make sure that always whenever there is no usage of fans or lights in the classroom, they needs to be kept off. So all these basic tips is what you can actually teach students. Yes. So coming to the next SDG, which is number 9, which is on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So coming to industry, innovation, and infrastructure is all about technological development which could take place across the country as well as the globe, and how it has to be kept in mind when it comes to the climate change which has been happening, how environment could be taken into consideration along with the development. So here STEM challenges, design thinking task, whether it be coding, robotics, tech innovation activities, all these could be integrated in the curriculum. Then SDG 10 is about reduced inequalities. So here this is again a social topic, where social teachers can actually work upon it by conducting discussions in the classroom about rights, about equity, about social science narratives, and what was the history. Even revisiting history sometimes helps in understanding and finding solutions for the future. So, social science narratives, inclusive classroom practices. Yes. Is anyone wants to speak? Okay. So inclusive classroom practices, again, how there has to be no discrimination between the girl students and the boy students. Within the students, that mentality has to be there, where they do not show any kind of bias between their friends who are girls and boys. Then SDG 11 is about sustainable cities and communities. We all know that how the construction industry is. There are so many construction projects going on each and every minute across, are in your surroundings. So in that case, there has to be it should be made sure that all these cities community projects which are being built, they are sustainable in nature. So how you can integrate this into the curriculum is through geography lessons, civics, smart city models, how vegetation, how planting trees helps when it comes to constructing these community projects, eco club initiatives, and heritage conservation, how it is important, why is it important, is what you can tell to the students. Then SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. So under this, eco-friendly habits, how usage of plastic needs to be reduced, usage of paper needs to be reduced as much as possible, recycling projects, debates on sustainability and consumerism, that how sustainable why sustainability is important, and how as a consumer when you buy certain things from the market, how you as a consumer can take care and keep it in mind that how can you be a responsible consumer. Then yes, anyone wants to speak? Okay. Coming to SDG 13, which is climate action. So, here there are certain topics like environmental education, student led climate pledges, action research, and green audits. That how certain industries, companies, even sometimes schools have these green audits where they make a checklist of how how green the particular environment is around the particular area. Like if you take an industry, if you take a company, there are green audits which are being conducted to make sure that they're not polluting the environment to the extent which is not desirable. Then coming to SDG 14, which is life below water. So science and geography units could be included on marine life, conservation, and ocean plastic awareness as well. Then SDG 15 is on life on land, which is biodiversity mapping. Um, Habitat protection activities, that how habitat of wild animals especially needs to be conserved, because we have been hearing news all along that how certain wild animals are actually entering into the villages which are near the forest area, because their forest has been getting deforested, so there is no habitat left for them. That is the reason there are attacks, wild animal attacks on the human population. So how serious is this issue? So you can actually discuss this in the classroom, conduct certain activities related to it. Nature walks will help students realize the importance of nature, realize the beauty of nature, and also the importance of it, the significance of it. Forest conservation is another way. Moving forward to SDG 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. Civic lessons will help mock parliaments. We might have come across that. Sometimes in schools, these UN Assembly or UN Assembly mock parliaments are being held, where they actually discuss certain world issues, certain social issues, and how to mitigate them. So such kind of mock parliaments can also be helped, can also be conducted, and these issues could be discussed by the teachers and students. Value education, student council empowerment, etc. Last SDG, which is partnership for the goals. This is all about how collaboration, how group projects is important, and how can it help the students. So it's group projects. You can initiate that, school community initiatives. Either you can collaborate with NGO, you can actually plan such a way that someone from the NGO could visit the school, and they can tell how real world problems are and how they are handling it from their perspective. And peer learning as well. So these are all the ideas where you can integrate these SDGs into the curriculum. Yes. Now, what is the best approach for integrating SDGs in classroom teaching? So, this is again certain steps or certain approaches which have been highlighted. For example, subject mapping. So, map each SDG to the NCRT subject area. So, be it the EVS science, social science, language, math, art. We know we already have many subjects which are being taught in the school. So, you can ensure that each certain SDGs are mapped to a certain subject. So that will actually simplify the process and will help you in focusing on those SDGs better. Then grade wise progression. Again, as one of the teacher has asked earlier, that all the SDGs cannot be discussed for all the grades. So when it comes to the lower grades, you cannot actually discuss topics like poverty. It would be difficult for the students to understand them. So in that way, in that case, you can actually build a progression across grades, that how certain topics could be discussed in the earlier grades. For example, caring for the earth, that is easy for the students to understand. And again, you can deepen further by taking into consideration such of certain data. You can ask the students to analyze the data, to collect certain data related to a particular topic you have assigned, ask them to validate it, analyze it in the form of flow charts, bar graphs, etc. Conduct debates, Debating is what students enjoy when it comes to higher grades. So you can actually conduct them in the classroom and help them understand the relevance of these topics, and also project works in the higher grades. Next, coming to the project based learning, this is something which we will discuss in deep when we move forward. I will just try to give you a brief about it. Like, it is mostly about the inquiry based. Like, when students are introduced a particular topic of SDG, you can actually ask them to ask themselves certain questions, and also to the if you give a particular project such a way that they need to visit a person, how they can formulate questions, how they can get answers from that particular person related to this particular project. So inquiry based and experiential learning, because doing a project needs to take up certain efforts from them. So such kind of projects you can actually align to the students. Then cross curriculum connections. Again, one SDG can be mapped to multiple subjects. For example, if you take up a topic called as clean water and sanitation, that is something you can integrate it into subjects like science, maths, because in maths you can give topics related to data analysis, where students will be working with the data and understanding how the relevance of this particular SDG, how clean water is important. And art and language also you can um, uh, actually map this particular SDG. Then coming to assessment integration, how you can give certain tasks to the students which are reflective in nature, where they have to think within themselves and come out with the answers, presentations, group work, and community involvement as well. Then teacher training, again, empowering teachers is also important with certain training modules, so that they implement these SDG based learning to the teaching curriculum. So this is all about the best approaches which you could follow. So, how can SDGs be integrated across all subjects, including core and co curricular areas? Because, as I said earlier, certain SDGs you can map subject wise. So, this mapping has been given in this particular slide. As you can see, in the subject of science, you have SDGs like climate change. Which is SDG 13, clean energy, because you are already discussing about the concept of energy, types of energy, etc. And along with that, you can include this extra topic to the students so that they will be aware of this SDG as well, called clean energy, and how is it important. Health, again, you have plenty of chapters across all the grades related to health, about your body. So you can include this health SDG 3 um, into your curriculum. Then water has been introduced in the as a chapter. Then you can include this particular topic of clean water and sanitation, which is SDG 6, into the teaching. Then social science, under social science you have topics like poverty, gender, governance, and global cooperation. How global cooperation is important is also you can include. Then mathematics, as I told you earlier, all everything about the data handling with real world SDG data sets. We know students learn about data handling in their maths chapters, but when you integrate that with something real, like SDGs, taking SDG data sets, like any particular topic. For example, if you want to analyze a topic called poverty, so you can actually look forward in the internet. You will actually get certain statistics related to poverty across the world. Or if you want to just stick to the nation, India's poverty statistics, you can get in certain government websites. You can ask students to collect those data and work upon them when it comes to maths. Then problem solving using sustainability challenges. This is another way. When it comes to English and languages, reading comprehension and essays on SDGs could be assigned to the students. Then value based stories could be shared with them. Debates and skits also can be conducted in the class. Then art and craft. When it comes to art and craft, poster making is a very good, I can say, a very good method. Then model making, model building, for example, as we have seen earlier about the sustainability cities. You can ask the students to build a model on sustainability city. How will it look like one of the we can say the city project which has been built across, where you have trees along with the concrete I mean world, there will be trees, there will be plantations everywhere on the roads. So such kind of ideal model the students can build. Then creative expression on SDG themes. So all these is what has been given here, that how you can integrate SDGs into various subjects. Now coming to science, that why is science education a key driver for achieving SDGs? So as you have seen in the previous table also, that science has been mentioned at the start, because even the topic of the day is also how you can achieve these SDGs using subject of science, because science is one of the foundation which you could say help in achieving this SDGs, because it helps it makes a foundation for understanding and solving global challenges. Because you can see there are various chapters across science which deals with health, which deals with food, which deals with topics like energy, as we have seen earlier. So there are plenty of SDGs you can see which gets mapped with science subjects, so it gives a foundation for understanding those global challenges. Then builds scientific literacy and responsible citizenship as well, because when you talk about these issues to the students, they will feel a kind of responsibility towards the nation, towards the globe, as that will build a kind of responsible citizenship within them. Encourages inquiry, evidence based thinking and innovation, because when you tell students to search on their own, that how relevant this particular SDG is why even we are discussing about it. So when they search on the internet on their own, they'll understand. It's a kind of evidence they are gathering by themselves, and understanding that how big this issue is. Then aligns with NEP 2020, CBSE competency based learning and NCRT goals. So SDGs have been aligned with all of these, and also when it comes to the science subject. Then how can SDGs be practically linked, as we are seeing through classroom integration strategies like inquiry-based learning. So when the students pose questions like how can we reduce water waste in school? So when they ask questions, they will actually understand that concept and go in deep within it. So project based learning, again creating something like be it a model, a working model like a solar oven, compost bin, or water filtration model. So that will actually help them understand that how they as a student could help in mitigating certain SDG problems. Then field work, like local, you can actually take students for a field work, be it local diversity survey, water quality testing. This is what you can actually teach to the students. Then waste audits, how they are conducted and what is the procedure behind it, etc. Then cross disciplinary links as well, that how science, you can see that it could be it is very multidisciplinary in nature, where you can integrate it with chapters with the other subjects like geography, civics and maths. Now, as we have seen that SDGs can be mapped to diverse topics within science. So how is that possible? So when it comes to SDG 3, as you can see here, good health and well-being. So this SDG could be mapped to topics like human body, diseases, nutrition, hygiene, etc. So teachers, do you have any other concept in mind which can be mapped to this particular SDG 3? Yes. Any other topic from science which could be mapped with this SDG 3, that is good health and well-being? Yes?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yes.
Hello, good evening. I'm
Good
Suresh
evening.
Bandoria from Indian School Vadikveer International. So
Okay.
we can map the art. Art can be mapped with all these topic which you are showing here.
Sure.
We,
Yes.
yeah, yes. And
Ye-
I saw the previous also, like you were showing some topics. So there
Mm-hmm.
it was written only posters and model making, and
Mm-hmm.
like you are giving topic poverty. The poverty is there. So not only this poster, that face expression can also be added in this. If you see that
We
Yes.
have
poverty
given
has
a
a
few
different,
examples, sir. Actually, we have given only a
yeah,
few examples to make it
yeah,
because we cannot give the complete document
yeah,
here. So, few examples for the teacher to educate them and implement it in their curriculum. That is
Yes,
the
sure.
main agenda of this thing. But we know that we have many, but that is what we have shown in the video also. Like we have model making, poster making, debate, storytelling, n number of options are there. But it is good that you are coming up with this. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So it can be taken like we you know that everything is related with the resources which we having. So it will change the entire nature of the that particular thing. So your environment will be good if everything is fine. Education will be good if everything is fine. So these all things are linked together. So that can be shown by the art. It can be shown by art by taking all the form. Like it could be a model also, a poster also, painting also, like calligraphy also. So it can be shown through all these arts. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Yes, Suresh, sir. I agree with you because art is very diverse in nature. You can't just, comprise it and give it in two or three ways where you can express it. There are multiple ways of expressing art. You are right. But as again, Usha ma'am has highlighted that everything
Yeah.
can't be included in this small table. So that is the reason we gave three
So
options.
I'm just
Yes.
trying my best to explain.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Try to help.
inputs.
And it's already 5, so the session sorry 6, the session might not complete in one session. We might be having a part 2 also, maybe in the next week. That is where the marketing team is going to decide, because people are asking for the certificates. So until unless the second part is also done, we cannot share that certificates to you. Okay, because we want to make this complete thorough for you to I mean to say, get it acquainted as well as implement in your curriculum. So maybe next 5-10 minutes we are going to wind up, and the next part is going to continue in the next week. Right, go ahead.
Okay. So moving forward, yes. So I have asked a question previously to all the attendees here that SDG 3, here you could see four topics involved, that is human body, diseases, nutrition, hygiene. So is there any other topic in your mind where we can actually integrate it to this particular topic? Yes? Yes, can I?
Adolescent education, and also even in water cycle we can introduce health, because we need pure drinking water for maintaining our health also.
Correct. Like these communicable diseases which are spread through water. Yes, that could be included under SDG 3. Thank you, ma'am, for your response. Now coming to SDG 6, which is again clean water and sanitation. Topics like water cycle, filtration, and water conservation, all these could be mapped to this particular SDG. Coming to 7, which is affordable and clean energy, we have topics like renewable sources of energy, electricity, and energy efficiency, etc. That and coming to next, that is responsible consumption. We have discussed this in detail previously. That it also involves topics called waste. So the segregation of waste, the types of waste, and how it is important. Then the 3 R's, this is again something we could see a key topic which has been discussed all across the grades, that is 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this could be a topic which can be mapped to SDG 12. Then chemical usage, be it the pesticides, fertilizers in case of agriculture, and various other means where chemicals are being used. Then SDG 13, which is climate action. um, this is a topic, this is an SDG where you can link topics like climate change, carbon cycle, global warming, etc. Then coming to SDG 14 and 15, be it the life below water and life on land, topics like ecosystems, biodiversity, conservation of wildlife. We can see the categorization which is done, like national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, be it the biodiversity hotspots. So all these topics comes under this particular SDGs, or you can map those concepts to this particular SDG. So whenever you take up these topics in the class, you can just give this pointer to the student that there are certain SDGs where this particular SDG can be mapped for the chapter which, or for the concept which I'm going to start in the class. So this way you can actually introduce the students to the concept of SDGs. Now, coming to the next slide, which is about what are some practical steps schools can take to implement the SDGs holistically. So, as a school, at a school level, you can actually implement SDGs in the form of subject-wise SDG mapping. This we have seen earlier, that how SDGs could be mapped across all the subjects, how you can segregate the SDGs according to the subjects, and also grade-wise how you can map them. So this can be done at a school level. Then coming to thematic assemblies and school events, the school can actually conduct these particular thematic assemblies or school events in the form of Earth Day, Water Day, etc., where you tell the importance of this particular day, why is it being conducted on that particular day, and what is the significance of it, and also about that particular SDG. Like when you talk about Water Day, you can talk about SDG 6 and its relevance, and what are the steps taken by the government, and also what students can do at an individual level. So all these things could be discussed on that particular day. Certain activities could be conducted, interesting activities which even students feel engaged to do them and also understand the relevance of that day. Then coming to school clubs and community projects, school can have various clubs. You can include clubs such as Eco Club, Gender Club, and certain social justice initiatives can also be taken up by the schools. So these are some strategies where you can actually include these SDGs at a school level. So teachers, do you have any other ideas apart from the one mentioned in the slide here? Yes, can I get a response that how you can inculcate these SDGs, integrate them at a school level?
Ma'am, group discussions about the topics, we can give a related topic to the students, and we can make a group discussion so that the other students can even listen, and they may get an idea of this.
Correct, correct, ma'am. So any
Um,
other ideas, teachers? Yes.
Ma'am, we can collaborate with other teachers also, and we can give the task related to each and every goal, like in a poverty, like a hunger, to the students, and make a video with an like flip grid. On the flip grid, we can put some videos and all, and we can collaborate with the other schools also, so that we can give the platform to other school also.
Yes, that's a nice idea, ma'am. Yes, any other ideas, teachers?
Ma'am, peer teaching and peer learning also we can encourage the students with such, the SDGs, subject-wise SDGs
Hmm.
and thematic assemblies. Even homeroom topics also we will allot. So by
Yes,
that, all the students will able to learn and get the awareness of the programs.
correct,
And
ma'am. Correct.
assemblies also one of the platform, the general assemblies
Mm-hmm.
where all the students get aware of all the topics. So from basic to the top level.
Correct, ma'am. Correct. So
Thank
again,
you.
There is one
yes.
more idea I have.
We
This
can make
small
the
one.
proper assembly
That
or
is,
proper,
I think,
like
sorry, but
first of all, like, if we want to implement it in a pre-primary level, so we can make a certain kind of activity, like we can in a handprints activity, through which we can make the SDG goal logos and all, so that we can inculcate the activity in the primary level also.
Correct, correct. Yes.
and
Some. Yes, ma'am.
sorry, I think that when we educate our children about these basic topics, which they
Mm-hmm.
by daily using, what they're doing is, suppose they're destroying the ozone layer. What I am basically concerned about, that is, if they're using that fridge or AC continuously, which is damaging the environment, if we inculcate that thought also through them by
and to their parents, their locality, I mean to say, that will be a big portion of change if we can actually inculcate them not only to the students but also to the parents. Means I am
Correct.
saying not alone on the students' hand, but
Hmm.
also we can communicate with the parents through students also, might be with some small seminars or something, so that parents can also be aware if where they aware of it, but they don't inculcate. Also, when students say that okay, our parents are not inculcating, why should we? So
Hmm.
that thought we have to inculcate in them. No, you have to for the next generation or whatever for your next years. You have to be reserved to these things. That's what
Correct.
I think.
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Yeah, I'm very
Yes.
happy for all the participants being very much supportive and being involved in this session. And actually, I have a question for all of us, including everyone, the teachers and the educators. The Can you tell me about the current status of SDG as per the report of 2024? Because we have set this, it's not me, United Nations have set these goals to be attained by 2030. So are we on track or off track?
Of course, ma'am, many school is implemented this. Like we can talk about the Kamala Nehru's public school Pagwada that is
Mm.
implemented it in a well manner.
Yeah.
And there are so many school which is collaborate. Like I also collaborated with some schools during the Corona time.
Mm.
So, ma'am, I think many schools started implementing it. Even the NCRT also introduced in each and every chapter in the social science and science. So I think it is progressive in the manner.
Yeah, yeah. So you're saying about the curriculum. I'm saying about with respect to the 2030, all these 17 goals should be achieved by the world. That is what the agenda of this SDGs. So if you see
Yes,
here,
ma'am.
actually we are off track. I'm not saying with respect to the curriculum, I'm saying about the goals. If this, when you compare this SDG 1 to SDG 17, I can say only 17% we are on track. And that too 17%, if I say the goal number, SDG 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, and 17. To all these goals, we have only achieved 17%. And the rest, if I say, like 18% we are on moderate progress, 30% is where I can say marginal, 18% of all these goals is where it is stagnant, and 17% there is a regression, which means we are in a very worse state. That is the reason for being implementing these SDGs 1 to 17 into the curriculum even. So we need to emphasize that. Okay, so the reason behind implementing that into the curriculum is when children learn about these SDGs, they begin to understand the challenges our world faces and how they can be part of the solution. And by this, students even develop important values such as empathy and responsibility. So in this way, every citizen makes a difference and becomes a change maker, and we can create a meaningful impact, because it's not possible only by the teachers. Even we're involving the students in this from the school ecosystem through the curriculum, right? So
Yes,
that
I
is the
think.
reason.
I
Yes.
think. Yes, I think children learn what they see. If suppose
Yes.
if I talk about my school, Cardinal High School Bardwan,
Mm,
I see our school uses solar energy,
mm,
which is a good thing for them to realize that yes, electricity is now short in our hand and we have to go for other reasons, other ways to develop these things. Also, tree plantation, they themselves do this. They themselves try to recycle the things they have near about, clean the environment they see. That is the thing. We have to show them, not only show them, we have to do this ourselves to make them realize, yes, they also have to do this. If we don't do, they will also not do. They see what they learn, what they see from us. We are the first thing that we need to first correct ourselves.
right. Do agree, ma'am. So if we have any other concerns, then we can continue. If not, we'll continue from here onwards in the next session.
Ma'am, I have a concern
Yeah.
that where will you be sharing the certificate and the feedback link of the session that
Yes, yes. We would be doing that in the next week, because we are not yet done with the session, because we want to show some of the sample slides of
okay,
all these SDGs. How is it integrated into the curriculum? So it's not basically science. We want to give importance to all, but in our science is where we have included that SDGs in the curriculum in the form of projects, in the form of what we call pledge, where the student will be taking on the World International Water Day, the pledge upon how to conserve the water. This place you can see some of the sample slides. So it would take maybe an hour more, so which we want to continue in the next week's session.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you
Thank you
tell
so
the
much. Have
tentative
a good
date?
On that, I think they will be on the LinkedIn and the Insta also. It will be posted on the social media, so you would be getting it.
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
So I'll be teachers, just
Thank-
hold on. So I'll be sharing the feedback form for today.
No, no, no. Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry for the
Yes.
disturbing you. The session will be completed, then the feedback form
Yeah,
will
it
be
will be
shared.
All
resumed
right.
in the next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, next week date can we know?
It will
On
be informed by the media team, ma'am, marketing team, and the social media team. They will be informing you through these social media platforms.
Please join our WhatsApp group, so we will share the update on that.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yes,
Today's feedback form, from where I will get it?
you would be getting it in the next week. Not now. You would be
Okay,
getting it in the next week.
okay, thank
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, Meena.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you for the great section.
Yes. You need to thanks Chandana. Chandana, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for attending, teachers and all the educators. Today's attendees, thank you for attending it. I hope you have gained some information from this session which could be helpful to you. And I just hope that whatever ideas or tips have been shared to you, you will be implementing into your teaching.
Yes, ma'am. Really, sure.
ma'am, so can we leave the meeting now?
Yes, yes, you can leave the session. Anurag, do you want to say something? Varsha Rani, yes, you have raised your hand. Is there anything you want to share with us?
You can see even many of the NGOs like Teach for India, Teach for America, Smile Foundation, Parishit Foundation, Ajim Premji Foundation, all these are coming forward to focus upon this SDG 4, that is quality in education and inclusivity for the underprivileged as well as for this under-reserved and even the economically backward children. So we also need to contribute our, I mean to say, um, with respect to teaching, including that in our curriculum and implementing it.